Hi, welcome into Running Miles CHD. I'm your host and coach, Josh. Thanks for tuning in today, wherever you are in your life. I appreciate you being here. Today we're going to talk about the cost of the race and how expensive can it get to run. So that is what we will talk about. Usually in these podcasts, I talk about my long run the day or the week before. So trial and error, and hopefully that can help you a little bit in what you decide to take with you. In this podcast, we also talk about whole foods. And last week, I did not really do that. I went ahead and took some protein shakes with me on my long run, which is ultra processed food. So definitely not whole foods. And it ended up being not so good. There is some reasons why, but let's see. First of all, if you need a coach or you wanted a coach, you can always reach out to me at runningmileschd@gmail.com and be happy to set up a plan with you and help you on your journey on completing the race. Also, hopefully this podcast will help you out where maybe you won't need a coach. So, okay, so with the long run, I decided to take just protein shake with me, which I thought was going to be a great plan. But what ended up happening is when I was trying to put the protein powder into my cup that I bring with me to the water fountain, most of the protein powder would miss the cup, and so that wasn't good. So I didn't get all the nutrients that I needed for the race, and it was really humid, so I was starting to cramp. I don't think I had enough electrolytes, and it almost felt like I almost hit the wall coming back. But in that training, I for some reason, I don't know why, but I forgot about honey and I forgot about syrup. So if you don't know, syrup has about 24 grams of carbohydrates in 2 tablespoons, and then same with honey. Anyways, I took 1 bag of syrup, just 2 tablespoons. Took that with me, and I took that probably in mile 9, and it tasted pretty amazing. But after I took it, I did pretty well. I remember I did pretty well, and it must have wore off when I was finishing up the long run. So I think next long run for sure I'm going to do more syrup, more honey, and less protein shake. I probably won't take the protein shake. So I think next long run, I'll do the, I'm going to take some electrolytes with me, and then I am going to take some peanuts with me, and no raisins, just peanuts, and then the honey and the syrup. And I got these small little bags that I can put them in, And so it's liquid, which is nice. You know, it's not food. And then also what I like about it is, yes, it could be sticky and messy. But my one experience with it, it actually wasn't messy at all. So that was great. It kind of just flowed into my mouth with ease when I took it. And so I just had it in my pocket. And the great thing about these two natural foods is they can be in your pocket during the hot weather. You know, if you took chocolate or something, you know, that's gonna melt. That definitely get messy. You know, so I would say it might be a pretty good choice. Plus, it's pretty lightweight. You know, it's not that heavy to carry per se. So yeah, it's definitely something to consider. I think we're gonna do that next week, and we'll see how that plays out, and see if that's a thing going forward that we can use for sure. So I'm gonna do the peanuts for the protein, and we'll have the electrolytes that I can get from the water, right? And then we'll use the honey and the syrup for the carbohydrates, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'll have an amazing run. It's always the plan. But this last week did not go well. It was okay, but I also didn't load on carbs this past week. So I think I'll do that again. Preload to the 250 on carbohydrates the day before, which will help as well. And I probably need to go up to 300, but that's pretty tough. So yeah, and I'm gonna do the syrup and the honey to carb load. I'm not gonna do the rice or the bread. Or the potato. So just letting you know that, and I'll let you know if that helps or if that's good, or okay. Anyways, so we will talk about the cost of the race. There is a lot of, you always think running so cheap, you know, right? All you need to do is run, right? It couldn't be expensive, right? You're just running. That's free, right? Just running, you know. But the races can range from $100, you know, with a marathon. Some marathons could be $200. But you're looking at, like, and this is USD. I don't know what country you're listening to. We're talking in USD. So might be cheaper in your country. I'm not sure. But you're looking at about $100 USD, and like, I don't know, $500. That's just to join the race, right? So whether it's an ultra, and they got a lot of aid stations and stuff like that, then you probably already have the clothes, but maybe you get new clothes. Then the socks, then the water bag. You know, a water bag could be $100 to $200. It could be more than that. Could be up to like $300, $400, depending on what type of bag you get. And then if you're running a marathon, maybe you just need one pair of shoes. But usually shoes, they last you, 300 to maybe 600 miles. If you're getting really expensive shoes, some of them are only rated for 100 to 200 miles. So shoes, that's a different ball game. I mean, you're looking at, I think if you're running a 100-miler with the race day, the training, you probably need 4 pairs of shoes, right? And that's the pairs of shoes that are rated for, the 300 to 600 mileage, right? If you don't change your shoes and you wear old shoes, then you might mess up your feet, or you might be having some difficulties with your legs, your knees, your hips, and your toes. So it is important to make sure that you don't overuse your shoe, for sure. So I would encourage, if you're doing the Ultra 100, have 4 pairs of shoes. Maybe if you're doing a 50-miler, you do 3 pairs of shoes. So, or maybe 2. You could get away with 2. Let's see. So, so the cost of a shoe can range from probably $100 to $300 per shoe, right? So if you need 4 of those, that can add up, right? And then the technology that you need, whether you listening to a podcast or you are listening to audiobooks or music, right? Well, with those devices, you can use the old school Ipod Nanos, or you can use the old iPhones like the 12 or the 13, or the small ones, usually runners like the small phones. That way they're not so heavy when you're carrying them, to store the music on, or the audiobooks and stuff like that, So, I mean, an old phone can range from, be like $400, $500 for an old phone. I mean, just all that adds up quick. And then the Garmin watch. A Garmin watch is going to cost you anywhere from $200 to $1,000 for a Garmin watch. And when you run in one of these ultras, they're 100 miles, and that could take you 32 hours, right? So what happened to me one race is my watch died. Not even thinking about that. So, you want a Garmin watch or an Apple Watch or whatnot, that will last 32 hours, right? So you can keep track of where you are on the course, and what to do with the food and the drinking and all that, right? So that's pretty important. So, an expensive watch, usually they're more expensive if they're going to last you 32 hours, if they have a better battery life. I have the Phoenix 7, which I've seen the Phoenix 8. If you have the money, I'd get the Phoenix 8. That flashlight probably is pretty handy. And the difference between the screen, like the brightness, is just unreal. Like I saw a guy with one on. He showed me, and it's so bright, like the difference. So if you have the money, get the Phoenix 8. That's one I would recommend for battery life. You don't have to get the solar power. You would still have a pretty big battery life. But I'll go into detail on all the gear, when that episode comes around. So, but right now we're just talking about the cost of the race. So, anyways, so think about the watch. Something with a long battery life. You're looking at like $500 minimum for, I think, for like the Phoenix 6. Unless you try to find something on the marketplace, or a used one, but it's still pretty expensive, I would say. Okay. So, so you got your clothes, you got your shoes, right? Then your food, whether if you go the route of gels and stuff like that, you need the food. So, I mean, let's see. If you add everything up, I mean, you're looking at about maybe $1,500 to $2,500. And I know that's a big gap, but it just depends on what you want and how much you spend on all your stuff. But I mean, I can't imagine it being cheaper than $1,500 on all your gear, unless you already have all the gear and all you have to buy is the shoes or something like that. Then maybe you're looking at $150, right, times 4, and then the race. Let's say the race is $200 or $250, right? So if you have all the gear and you're just looking at buying the shoes and the race, then it would be about $800 for just the shoes and to sign up for the race, right? So I mean, you're getting pretty close to $1,000 there. So yeah, it definitely adds up, and I don't think that race running is cheap. It's definitely one of the more expensive sports, besides probably hockey and golf. Golf is really expensive, or any kind of water sport that you do is probably pretty expensive. Or skiing. Skiing's probably expensive. Anyways, getting off subject here. So the cost of the race can vary, but that's kind of like how it is. And guys, there's so much I didn't even mention. Like, you could buy running packs, lots of running socks, running shorts, running tops. There's just so much. So definitely running is pretty expensive, I would think. Now being in the sport for a little bit, it definitely is not as cheap as maybe someone would imagine when they're first getting started. But doing 100-miler, it's definitely adds up for sure. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If you're listening to this before you started the 100-miler, look at your finances and make sure you can afford it before you get started, because I would definitely tell you that maybe the most important thing is the shoes, and having the new shoes. So I would say 4 pairs of shoes or 3 pairs of shoes, depending on how long your training program is. I know some people can train longer time than what I'm doing for their training program. So you might even need 5 shoes for it. So, but shoes probably one of the top things to consider. Getting that water pack, hydration pack, is very important. Then the watch, so you can know how far you've gone or how long it's been, is really important. And once again, you don't want that watch to die. So you want a watch that has a pretty good battery life. So make sure you get a really good battery life watch, because the last thing you want to do is for that to die in the middle of your race, right? So, all that stuff is really important. And I don't know if you could go without those things in a race. I guess you could, but be pretty tough. So, definitely something to consider before signing up or before training is seeing if you can afford doing 100, because they're not cheap. Not cheap by any means. So hopefully you're listening to this episode before you signed up. If not, it could be a shock, but maybe you already know. Usually people running 100, maybe not their first race. It could be, but hopefully this was a little bit educational and a little bit eye-opening for somebody just thinking about doing an ultra 100-miler. Okay, but yeah, it's not cheap by any means. So I think I will stick to the 1,500 to 2,500 probably is a good estimate for the cost of the race. Now, if you already have the watch, the water bag, all that stuff, you got all that stuff, then you're looking at just the shoes, and then we're just talking about the shoes and signing up for the race. Then you're looking at like $800, right? So, which is still a lot. And that's just shoes, and that is for the race. $800. So definitely not cheap. But I would say, I guess, if you get the gear, you have the gear, then it does get cheaper. I guess you could always want to upgrade to different watches or whatnot, or different gear. But yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening, and thanks for being here. And I'll catch you on the next episode, and hopefully this honey and this syrup is gonna be magic, and I'll have the best run ever. Hopefully. All right. You guys take care and have a good run. I'll catch you on the next episode.